In this video, we're going to talk about whether or not you're feeling placebo when you take nootropics. Spoiler, you're fucking not feeling placebo. All right? You're making changes to neurochemistry. Stop that shit. Coming up.
Cortex is the productivity stack. This is the stack you want to take for total mental energy, total mental dominance, total motivation, verbal fluency, focus, and the drive to get work done. Get the Cortex Nootropic stack at livecortex.com. Feel what it feels like to fire on all cylinders.
All right, that is the Cortex stack. Get it at livecortex.com. Use the coupon code 5. That'll take it down to $24.99. Right now it's $29.99. That is cheap. Coupon code 5 takes it down. Look, 3 digital guides this weekend. If you've got nothing to do, if you want to really learn more about nootropics, and if you want great stacks, buy these guides. As you see here, these are digital downloadable guides that are riddled with nootropics, expert nootropic stacks and information. Smarter, Better, Faster, New Pet Pro Stack List, and the Racetam Guide. These are very powerful guides. They're digital. Download them on an iPad or whatever you got. livecortex.com. Lastly, Nootropics Consulting. That's something that we do. It's a 40-minute call with me, 15 additional email correspondences. If you want to hear about all that stuff more, stick around the end of the video. There'll be a 4-minute video that describes some of this stuff. Get all that good nootropic stuff at livecortex.com. Okay, so the question of am I feeling, I take a nootropic compound, I took some, aniracetam, and I feel more productive, my brain feels better, and then, is this placebo? I want to answer that question for people, and yeah, like I said in the spoiler, no, it's not placebo. Stop saying that, okay? This has been something that has long annoyed me over the years, and I just want to kind of clear this up with folks to give you my perspective on it. First of all, let's look at it. Let me just preface it this way. I'm all for good science, right? I'm all for it. I study science. It's how I understand a lot of things related to neuro anatomy, physiology, gut functionality, etc. I study this stuff and I love it. But there is a type of thinking that I think we're all too very familiar with that comes along with that side of comes along with science in general. That it's almost like folks sort of stop thinking, right? I mean, they truly look at like one study or something, and then they just conclude things from those studies that are just like they think is totally applicable to humans. They think it's applicable to every human. You got folks saying like the high oatmeal diet will make you live forever, or like ketogenic diets are the best diet ever. It's just like none of that shit is true. I mean, it all depends on you. Frankly, you're going to operate better on glucose, and carbs are not a problem, right? And so, but there's all this stuff. It's refined foods, by the way, that are really the issue, and not exercising and not sleeping right, and genetics. And so, one of the weird, rigid thinking, modes of thinking that comes from the scientific community is this notion of placebo. This notion of placebo is like in very many experiments, like they'll give people that have particular ailments, they'll give them sugar pills, which do nothing, and then they'll give them some medicine, and then they'll notice there'll be actual changes in the person's condition when they took the sugar pill, just because they thought they were taking actual medicine. So their brains totally believing they took some sort of medicine that might help them, totally engaged in some sort of internal physiological response that actually made them feel better. Entirely within the realm of possibility, right? I'm not disputing the placebo effect, but what I am disputing in relation to nootropics is that what I'm saying is that people are way too quick and way too overextending to use placebo, around nootropics, especially outsiders that think they're smart and think they're like, think they're like on the side of science or something. Like, it's just like, dude, you're not, and you don't know what you're talking about, right? And you're not, like, they just posit these little things like, oh, it's probably placebo. What? It's probably placebo? Are you looking at my brain? You know what I mean? Do you understand the release of acetylcholine that's like quantifiably happening in my hippocampus in response to oxiracetam right now? Like, do you know what that might do in terms of how that's going to allow me to memorize more things or be more verbally fluent or focus better? It's just like you really have these folks that attach on. People think they can just go, oh yeah, well it's scientifically proven, or you know what I mean, or oh that's placebo. Like they can use one word or the other, like from the medical orthodoxy, and suddenly they're a fucking genius. It's like, dude, stop. Okay, it's laughable when people do that, and you really just need to open your mind up a bit about what's truly happening, and stop making these little shallow assertions. Stop stopping thinking, and stop thinking you can just like use one word from the medical orthodoxy and suddenly you're fucking smart. Okay, that's not how it works. And so when people do this with nootropics, they're always going, oh, I took Noopept or I took aniracetam, and God, man, I had incredible focus. Like, my brain like totally turned on. But I'm thinking it might be placebo. I'm thinking it might be placebo. And here's my answer. I'm gonna throw my iPad here. Landed on the couch. Awesome. Here's my answer. It's not fucking placebo, guy. All right? Do I sound like I'm aggressive? Do I sound like I'm upset about it? Good. Turn the video off. I don't care. I am. Because people keep saying this bullshit, and they keep thinking it, and they're coming from the orthodoxy, and they come from academia, and they think they're hot shit. And it's just not the case. Look, you're making changes. Okay? This is not a sugar pill. Aniracetam at 750 milligrams is not a sugar pill. You're making changes to AMPA receptors. You're making changes to acetylcholine receptors, right? You're putting a neuroprotective agent in the brain that clear studies, demonstrate that, it's got a procholinergic activity, a neuroprotective activity, specifically with a lot of these racetams, like we find that aniracetam and other racetams prevent amnesia, when administering some sort of amnesic or memory, deteriorating compound in a mouse. These compounds like aniracetam and other cholinergic nootropics go and reverse that. Typically they're using a compound called scopolamine that induces like memory disorder and amnesia, and aniracetam comes in there and basically reverses it or protects the brain from running into that problem. Okay, so look, whether it's that or we're talking about modafinil, sort of upregulating the expression or the functionality of these peptides called orexin peptides, and thus promoting wakefulness, because those are sleep inhibiting peptides. So you'll be inhibiting any degree of sleepiness, kind of like caffeine does. Nobody questions whether or not caffeine is a placebo. Oh, I drink some coffee and, the caffeine molecule, binds to adenosine receptors, and turns my brain into thinking like it's awake and blocks the action of tiredness. Guess it's placebo. Maybe it's placebo. It's like, no, it isn't. It's neurochemistry, dude. It's not placebo. It's something, very, very specifically engaging in some action on your brain. Okay, so when people are talking about like our nootropics placebo, oh, I felt good and I focused good. Yeah, dude, that was the fucking nootropic working for you, okay? Stop with this placebo bullshit, okay? You're not a genius because you can use words from the medical orthodoxy, all right? You really have to understand what you're talking about before you start. The reason I'm aggressive about this is because people then discount the significance of nootropics. They're like, oh, people are just psyching themselves up. Like some guy actually thinks he's right. He's psyching himself up, man, because he thinks it improves his brain. He took it. Placebo. Like, it's like, all right, bro, you deserve to be shipped to Mars to live off of Brussels sprouts and terrible coffee. Like, bro, just go be an accountant somewhere and, get rid of all your internet anonymouses where you talk shit and think you know everything, okay? And go watch Lost because you're a mind-numbed drone that thinks they know what they're talking about. Okay, so yeah, I'm aggressive about it. It pisses me off. But for those of you who are wondering, if I'm taking nootropics and I'm getting these good effects, is it a placebo? Here's my answer. No, it's not placebo. Thanks for watching.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching the video. Thanks for being with me. Ryan Michael Balla here. Check it out. These 4 are our powerful nootropic products. So start from the top. You're going to want to hear this. Number 1, the Cortex stack. That is our powerful pre-made stack. This is the stack you want to take if you want to get work done. Let me just be serious with you. I created that stack running a company 18 hours a day to get my brain to have massive verbal fluency, total motivation, right? Total overall mental fluidity, lots of mental energy, lots of drive to work. Entrepreneurs need brain performance. We created that stack for people that really, really need brain performance and ain't messing around. The Cortex stack, get it at livecortex.com. You will love that stack. Those digital guides, we'll start from the Racetam guide. That guide is a digital stack list of some of the most highly effective brain state specific Racetam stacks on the planet. Basically you're getting oxiracetam, piracetam, aniracetam, phenylpiracetam, coliracetam, faciracetam, nephiracetam, pramiracetam stacks, very powerful stacks of all those racetams laid out in that guide. The new Pep Pro Stack list is a giant list of sublingual, oral, and nasal new pep stack. So we've got just myriads of lists of very specific, very surgical new pep stacks that are highly effective, time tested. I mean, you take one of those stacks, your brain turns on, you will thank me. That thing is digital too. These are all digital, downloaded at livecortex.com. And then lastly, Smarter, Better, Faster is a digital guide that teaches anybody that's within the 1 to 2 year range of taking nootropics, how to take nootropics, how to think about taking nootropics, how to use nootropics surgically to really get optimal brain performance, to totally dominate the realm of nootropics. It gives you very many stacks, my favorite stacks, everything from modafinil, caffeine, theanine protocols to aniracetam, microdosing protocols to uridine, ALA, Alcar, choline stacks to basically everything else in between them. If you want the most powerful stacks on the planet, if you want my personal stacks and my personal philosophy on taking nootropics, get the Smarter, Better, Faster guide. Get all these guides. Get all of this good nootropic stuff at livecortex.com. We make elite level nootropic products for elite level nootropic players. Are you one of them? Let's find out. livecortex.com. Make it happen. Thanks for being with me.